So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Bandai Dragon Ball Dragon Stars Cooler Final Form. And this here is Dragon Stars, or at least my newer introduction. I had a couple reviews on it prior. They are now gone. This is a intriguing figure, to say the least, because he's a pretty solid alternative to the pretty expensive figuarts. Can I just say, as a whole, these are what got me into Dragon Ball figures, and I may have went a little too far in on these, and I might have went a little too far on figuarts. I do like the Dragon Stars line, however. They look really nice in the packaging, which I know someone's like, what? I don't usually collect things and leave them in packaging, but I do with these guys, and they're opened, of course. I'm not one of them. I'm not going to just leave it in the package permanently. I'm going to take it out and mess around with it. And in this case, this is really the first time I'm messing around with Cooler. He's the one I've messed around with the least easily. It's between him and probably Krillin. And I don't know why. Cooler, I mostly got him in a lot of 3, him, Cell, and Frieza. And I basically bought that lot just because I was like, oh, it's a pretty solid deal for all 3 of them. It really wasn't. But I got all 3 of them for the same price I got my new SH Figuarts Frieza that I bought coming for, which is not great, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to specify because it's a lot of money. It was well over $100. For the 3 of them, pretty decent because it's 3 things. Frieza, yikes. Anyway, this guy is phenomenal, and the Figuarts one looks amazing too, but of course, he's unobtainable to me. I'm not going to spend that much. I don't want to spend that much again on just one thing. Like one little tiny action figure. I don't want to do it. But with this guy, yeah, I think he's going to work for me. He's not as big as he should be. The Figuarts one is the proper scaling, most likely. This guy is probably about as big as Piccolo from Figuarts. I'll see if I can get some comparisons in. But as far as it goes with him, he looks phenomenal. And I don't really know a ton about Cooler because he's a character who's exclusive to movies. And this is the one that appears in his first movie where he's just kind of like basic. And then after that, he dies, comes back as a robot, takes over part of Namek, and that's a whole thing. And he's technically also not canon as well. He's technically just a guy who exists. He's not canon to the story of Dragon Ball. For those, yeah, I know, it's the whole thing with manga canon, where this guy doesn't exist in the manga. He was created for a movie, which, again, doesn't count in the TV show either. So, that's a bit dumb. I say that, but he does show up in GT, but guess what? I'm pretty sure that's not canon either, so it's all just a mess. It's all a mess. And Cooler is one of the best-looking Dragon Ball villains, I think, ever created. The movie villains look phenomenal. They all look awesome. Think about it. Broly is a movie villain. Oh, I don't know the other guy's name with the sword. I don't know his name. Someone might put it, but I don't remember his name. But Cooler, probably my favorite. He's like Frieza, but on steroids, literally, and is actually Frieza's brother. So that's nice. Design-wise, yes, he does share a lot of similarities with Frieza, like these little thingies on the legs, but particularly the thingy on the head. But he's blue instead of that, and also Cooler, Frieza, and their father's King Cold. Yeah, you get the joke. But this guy is neat. As far as it goes with him, he is pretty amazing looking. He's kind of this flat purple plastic. It's like the generic purple I think of. It's very flat. The white is pretty good. I mean, I feel like it's not the best kind of white plastic. I feel like it could yellow, which is a shame. The blue looks nice, though, with the metallic fleck to it. The feet of the figure, he has the 3 toes. They painted the toenails for some reason. Why does he have these little things on the bottom? What's up with that? As far as it goes, hands, he has fists, which they painted the thumbnail for. But he comes with more fists. He comes with open hands as his only accessory. There's the open hand. It's the same thing that you would have expected. It's just kind of an open grip, but they've painted all of the fingernails black, similar to the toes. And you can do what you like with that. Do the classic fist and palm pose, I gotta put him back here. He's way too large. He's in a weird scale to where he's so tall that the big setup don't work, or the main setup doesn't work, but then he's too small for the big one. So it's just a weird one. As far as it goes, though, it looks really good. Let's get a look at the head sculpt here, which looks fantastic. Look at those red piercing eyes. Very cool. Very awesome. They even sculpted the ears. Very nice. One other main detail you're probably noticing is his tail. Yeah, that's something you can't miss. It's very large. I was not expecting the tail to be so large. Paws. But this is a pretty nice thing. It doesn't have a lot of articulation. Like, it can move 360, and it has like a bit of a hinge at the base. And there's a hinge there, and then there's also a swivel at the point. But that's really it. And I guess speaking of articulation, he does actually have a fair bit. He has a ball joint in the head, also a bit of a joint at the neck, which for most Dragon Stars doesn't tend to work, but it works on him quite well. Forward and back, he does kind of have a butterfly. It's very minimal. It is only the ball joint in the socket, so it's not like a full-on designated thing. He has a bicep swivel, a kind of double elbow, but because of the thickness of his forearm, it's not going to go just because of the armor. His hands go outward, and if you do rotate them a certain way, up and down, the ball joint in the fist as well, or at the wrist, I guess I should say. He does have an ab joint, so he does have a bit of an ab crunch. He does have forward and back, and he also has a bit of like a swing hinge here, which goes down, which kind of just opens up that, and it kind of looks a little ugly. If I'm being honest, I just hit the lamp. But then he also has his typical swivel, and then a double knee joint, which again doesn't go all the way. Bend's pretty much just a 90, but that's there. And then a ball joint at the foot as well, which allows for the other things. And then you got your tilt in there that you can, again, rotate to get in and out, or forward and back. So, yeah, he got all the articulation you'd probably want. I mean, he's not going to be as articulate as the figuarts one. But what are you expecting? The difference in price on these guys is insane. Like I said, I'm not sure the price of the figuarts one at release, but right now, he is a ton of money. I'll just put that there. The price of current figuart cooler, if I can find any. This guy, Canadian, was like, going off of every other one of these, he'd probably be around $30-some, close to 40 maybe. Depends on where you get them. In my local Walmart, so like $29.97 plus tax, and then it's like, if you go online, they're usually like $34.99. So whatever one, whatever range. As far as it goes with him, he's pretty solid, though. I don't really have any issues. And I mean, he still looks really, really good. The only thing, again, with Dragon Stars is they don't come with accessories, really. Some of them come with blast effects. Occasionally, you'll get an extra hand. Like, Piccolo has a special beam cannon hand. But, like, most of the time, you're getting open hands, and that's it. You get fist and open hand. That's all you get for, like, 80% of them. The only ones that came with effects was First Form Frieza, but he also comes with, like, 3 other hands. Like, that thing comes with a lot. It seemed as the line went on, they really started to skimp on the accessories, which is a shame. And, I mean, as far as it goes with this guy, for my final thoughts, I think he's pretty solid. I mean, there's not really any issues with him. I mean, he's what you're paying for. Like I said, he's about $30 to $40 Canadian. That's probably, what, 20 to 30 USD? Like, he's pretty solid for that price. He's going to be a little bit cheaper, but again, it's completely fine because figuarts are a lot of money, and that's just not even a joke. They're a ton of money. They're not a very good investment to me. I mean, they are a good investment. I like them a lot, but they're just so much, and a lot of them are so rare that it's either you have to wait for a reissue, or you got to go in there, and you got to go pay crazy secondhand market prices. It's not good to pay that price. When this one exists, he might not be as accurate. He doesn't have the accessories, but if you're looking for just a cooler to throw in your collection, he will do. He will do if you're looking for a cooler, especially if you don't have the money for the big one, the figuarts one. If you don't have that money, get this one. He's just as good. Size-wise, I never really got a size comparison. I don't really want to take Piccolo down because he's all ones that I find really hard to get in and out. Here he is next to Figuarts Piccolo. He is actually bigger than him. He's kind of slightly crouched, but I don't think that actually makes much of a difference. I'm not sure the exact height of him, but he's definitely 7.5 to 8 inches tall, probably. That's what I'm gonna guess on height scale. But as far as it goes, that's Cooler in a nutshell. So if you're looking for a decent Cooler figure, he's a good option. Either that or there's probably a knockoff one out there of the figuarts, but I would say either go with this or the knockoff unless you really want to spend that kind of money on the big guy. But that's really all I have to say for this review. So this has been a review of a Dragon Stars Cooler. This has been Elite signing out.